Welcome to another session with the Superintendent. It's my pleasure today to welcome John Aversa, the Director of Information Technology, to our program and talk a little bit with John about technology. John has been with the school district now 4 years, and certainly since my coming to Wakefield has had major impact in the development of our technology program. Let's start, John, by trying to share with the public your sense of what some of your responsibilities are.
Terry, they really fall into two major areas. The first one is the management of the Information Technology Department, which includes, for example, the operation of the student information system, the data processing needs that surround attendance and grades and scheduling, development of budgets, oversight of staff, coordination of staff who are involved with technology at the different levels, and the development of long-range budgets and strategic planning. And then the second main area of responsibility is in terms of integration of technology into the classroom, into teaching and learning. And that falls into really two main areas itself: the development of a professional development program for all of staff, and the development of new curriculum that incorporates technology directly into classroom teaching.
Under that first responsibility, certainly some of the specifics might include student scheduling.
Absolutely.
Might include the master schedule building.
That's right.
Might include management of student records and working with guidance and those sorts of things, right? So
That's right.
Functionally, there's quite a bit to that part of the job.
Absolutely.
Report cards, do you have something to do with report cards?
That's right. We're the office that generates them in response to the time frames that are set out by the high school and middle school.
A year ago, John, I asked you to take on the challenge and responsibility of developing a long-range technology plan for the Wakefield School Department. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how you initiated and subsequently have completed that process?
Sure. The process was actually almost 2 years from start to finish, from when we first began the development of it, reviewing what had been done in 1993, a strategic plan for technology, and incorporating into the process the state's guidelines for development of a plan. The first thing that we set about to do was not to develop a spending plan alone, that this was to address the needs in many different areas, but to, at the end of the completion of this plan, to have technology an integral part of the educational process here in Wakefield. And the first thing that we did was to put together a group of people that represented what we considered some of the major stakeholders in technology throughout the community and school system. We had members of the school committee, we had teaching staff from all levels, we had administrators, we had parents, community members, business people, and that we hoped would bring together a variety of viewpoints and needs and interests that would help us build a better plan overall. Once we did that, we met and started to talk about what our mission statement and what our vision for technology would be for the Wakefield schools. And after that, we took a very hard look at where we are currently with technology. We did an assessment of student skills, of staff skills and attitudes towards technology, our current hardware and software networking situations, professional development offerings, what we needed to be doing, what we already were doing, and so forth. And once we had a good handle on where we are currently, then we set about to identify long-range strategic goals, really in 4 main areas: curriculum instruction, professional development, communication and information access, and administration and management. We felt that those 4 areas really identified and encompassed all the different things that we needed to be doing. Having completed that, an assessment of where we want to be in 5 or 7 years, then we set about to develop an implementation plan over that period of time that would bridge the gap between where we are today and where we want to be in 5 or 7 years. And the last piece of that plan included an evaluation and a revision section that would let us really, on a year-by-year basis, analyze what we have accomplished, where our strengths and weaknesses were in terms of the implementation, and give us a chance to revise and modify as we went along. Once the plan was completed, it was circulated in completion to the entire committee and to some other members that were not formally members of the committee for their review. And once that was done, it went before the school committee for their approval, and then was submitted to the Department of Education for state-level approval, which we received in mid-November.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you and the committee did a wonderful job, and the resulting document is this 60 to 70-page document that outlines expectations in terms of curriculum, in terms of professional development, in terms of what we will do the next 7 years in technology. Let's clarify, though, for the public, when we talk technology, we're certainly talking more than computers.
Absolutely.
What are we talking more than computers, John?
Well, we're certainly talking about the use of computers and other audiovisual related equipment within the context of the educational process. And again, that may include administrative functions, but it's primarily, from our standpoint, the integration of that into the classroom. The use of Laserdisc players, the use of television equipment that can be used for students to develop presentations, to learn new skills that will be applicable in higher education and in the workplace as we progress. It's also such things as software and the access of information. The internet is clearly the buzzword these days in terms of educational technology, and we see its potential resources as being almost unlimited at this point. It's growing so quickly and changing so quickly that there are a lot of resources available for students as well as for teachers, lesson plans, new activities, current research that's available to them. And technology encompasses all of that.
We've made a major attempt in the school department to separate any technologies that we need for business, finance, school system management from those kinds of technologies that we would need to support classroom instruction.
That's right.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit, John?
Sure. Well, we certainly see that developing administration and business applications for streamlining business processes as being an important part of it, but clearly our focus has always been on the educational aspects of it. And that includes many different things. It is not just buying hardware and software and developing networks. We need to make sure that we have solid technical support for teachers, that a classroom teacher doing a lesson can't afford to have a computer not be available to them on a particular day. We need to provide, to coin an industry term, just-in-time technical support to our classroom teachers, that we need to provide quality professional development for the teachers to ensure that they have the skills that they need to instruct students in using computers, and also not just computer literacy skills, but technology as it applies to math, social studies, English, and the other major subject areas.
Simply stated, we want to provide all the tools that we can to that classroom teacher.
That's right.
To enhance learning.
That's right.
And the better the tools, the more able they will able to transfer both information and good thought process to students. And therefore, yes, their learning will be enhanced. So that really is our mission. Certainly, you indicated before that one of our strong core themes in our technology plan was to provide professional development for staff. What have we done in the initial stages to accomplish that goal?
Well, one of the things that we did in the process of developing the technology plan was to do an assessment of staff skills, as I had mentioned before. And we found that more than 50% of our staff use technology at least several times a week to develop classroom materials, but that in most cases, as many as 90% of them in almost all the categories we surveyed considered themselves novices. And we felt that what we needed to do was first identify student competencies that we wanted our kids to have as they progress through the school system, and then based on those to develop a set of staff competencies that would help teachers, administrators, classroom aides, clerical support, help those teachers and students meet those expectations. So once we had done that, once we identified what we wanted our staff to know, we then went about putting together a professional development program in conjunction with the Professional Development Committee and Rose DiTullio, the Director of Curriculum and Instruction, and identified a whole curriculum of courses in the area of basic use of computers, different application software, email software, internet, use of the internet, and identified a 2-year rotation that we would offer on an ongoing basis indefinitely of basic applications, and then the second year being integration of technology into the classroom. And we have offered probably 25 or 30 classes over the course of this year, and we're looking to actually add more between now and the end of the year.
What's the response from staff to that, John?
It's been very good. We've seen many teachers taking multiple classes, really gearing in towards improving their particular skills. And what's interesting, I think, is that we've seen them from all different groups within the staff, from administrators, from teachers, from clerical people, all looking to improve and enhance their technology skills to make them more effective in their work.
We promised, too, when we went to the community for technology support 3 years ago, that we would make this technology and professional development available to the community at large.
Yes.
What have we been able to do there, John?
Well, our focus this year was really to put together the curriculum as best we could, to have a solid curriculum and recruit teachers for those courses, those professional development workshops that anyone could teach. We'd have a standard set of materials and format that we would use. And as we progress and sort of get our feet on the ground a little bit, we're starting to make those courses available to the community. For example, just before Christmas, we identified a course for purchasing a home computer that we felt was a good time. Many people buy computers for the holidays, and we had outstanding response. We offered the course in the afternoon and in the evening, and we had almost 20 participants for both sessions, many of whom were from the community. And
how about in the evening education division? Haven't we been able to use a lot of this technology to help support the community at that level?
Absolutely. Through community ed, we've been able to, because we've had enhanced computing facilities here at the high school, we have some very solid, up-to-date equipment, networked labs, been able to improve and enhance the community education program significantly.
The first year I came to Wakefield, the Finance Committee accepted a proposal that we spend annually approximately $200,000 to support technology. And certainly I'm grateful to the support that I've gotten both from the school committee, the Finance Committee, and the community at large. What kinds of additional support will we need to see to implement this technology plan?
In the development of the technology plan, we identified needs on about an average over each of the 7 years that we plotted out projects for, about $256,000. If we include already existing budget items like data processing and supplies that already were in existence, we had approximately $219,000, including the $200,000 that you had mentioned before. And so we're looking for an average of about $256,000, and that includes new staff positions that we may need, and have one that we've already hired for technical support to support these implementations over the district.
What kind of support might we expect from the state? We've heard quite a bit about a state bond bill to support
Yes.
technology.
That's an extremely important part of the whole process. The Educational Technology Bond Bill was passed by the state last July, and that promises to deliver to each school district in the Commonwealth up to $30 per student in matching funds based on a 1 to 3 donation, 1 being the state's donation compared to our 3. And we've spent money that would certainly provide us with the $30.
Yeah, we can meet that match right now, right?
Absolutely,
And,
yes we can.
When might we expect to see some of the first state money flow to Wakefield?
The latest,
this year maybe, or next year? Or
it's
when?
likely that a meeting that I went to just the other day, the announcement was that the next round, when that would happen and what the guidelines would be announced in early April. So my expectation is that we may see money flowing in the next round, and they haven't identified how many school districts would be included in that, but that may happen in May or early June. I would expect that we are likely to see it in our next fiscal year, sometime after July 1.
I've had a number of questions that want more specific information of what we intend to do with our elementary schools with technology, specifically to the new facilities plan, what we hope to do both in terms of equipment and curriculum at the middle school and the high school. I'd like certainly you to be thinking about coming back at a later time and talk a bit more specifically about curriculum technology at each of these levels of our program. But certainly our time has come to a close this morning, and I would like to thank you, John, publicly for a wonderful technology plan, certainly all those people that participated in it. I think it's a model plan. It's been well received at the state level, And certainly the people of Wakefield owe you a great gratitude for all the work you put into it. So thank you for joining me this morning.
Great, thank you.